So we're on our way to take a look at a collection. The only thing I know is it has a low-grade Hulk 181. So that's enough to get you out of bed in the morning and take a look. So let's see if we pick it up. A little spoiler, if we don't get the collection, I'm not going to publish this video. So we'll see. So I bought the collection, and just a little bit of a preview. Lower grade, stamp is intact, complete, and everything's attached, but I'd say about a 3. And if you're interested, it'd probably be at King Con on April 6th. So we're going to break the whole thing down. I'm going to pull out the better books and take a quick look.
Hello, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. Before we get started, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on the other social medias, Instagram at Bronzeville_comics. I'm on Whatnot at Bronzeville_comics, where we do sales Monday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. There is a link in the description of this video that if you're not yet signed on to Whatnot, you can use it, get $10 off your first purchase. There is also a link in the description of this video for my eBay store, as well as my email, and a link to the website for King Con 5, where I will be selling at the Park Ridge Marriott in Park Ridge, New Jersey. That's in northern New Jersey, kind of at the top of the Garden State Parkway, near that area. There is a QR code. I also will put a link for the show into the description of this video. It is Saturday, April 6th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Early bird special at 9 a.m. So I did buy the collection. You saw kind of what the leading comic was, and I had to bring it home.
Okay, so we're at storage. We are rolling this collection up to my storage facility. So I'm going to go through it, pick out the keys, basically pick out the books that I'm going to bring to King Con. Now, I got around the corner here. These two long boxes are empty long boxes I brought from home. They'll be for sorting because I don't know what it is, but especially when I get collections from this antique store, that why there are so many long boxes that don't have lids. What do these people do with the lids? They sell them together. You know, how did you store your books if you didn't have lids? I don't understand. So there's some cool stuff in here, some good keys. I'm sure there's some, I didn't look through everything. I'm sure I'll find a couple of other books in here, and we'll take a look. For this, I just rented another storage space, and I didn't fill up the back yet. I didn't anticipate having to add stuff like this to it. And I'm not sure I'm going to be able to, because I still have a ton of stuff to go through. All these bins, and like there were 3 of them that collapsed on their own weight, are trades like these. So some of these actually have some pretty good value, but that's all got to go on eBay. And I have some in my garage at home that I have to go through yet from that same collection. So hopefully I can fit a long box or 2 there. Stack some stuff up, and let's go through. I'll start going through this. Let me just get settled. This box had some good stuff in it. How is this stuff? This is all taped together. Yikes. I think this is one of the later reprints of Action Comics, not one of the ones from the 70s. So I'm gonna, this one is good. I'm not sure. That is a pretty nice copy of that. So I'm gonna put that to the side. Put it here. But some decent Bronze Age stuff. Number 200. Yeah. And then they have it organized by the cover price. So this is getting a little bit later. I have not looked through everything, and this is like an amalgam of titles. They have 27, but no 26. Come on. That's a nice little key, though. Put that to the side. First Mongol. Then we get to this later stuff. This is a nice book. Newsstand, too. This tape off the back. There's no boards. So I'm going to go through these. I'm not going to bore you with flipping through, but there are some good books in here. I'm going to pull out the best books, and then we'll highlight them at some point.
So I kind of took out some of the better books, some of the bronze and silver put away, and then there were condition issues with older books. Some disappointment, but some I was quite happy with. I did pull out a handful of books. I got about 5 or 6 books here, maybe 6 books, that I think are strong 9/8 candidates. And I may put them, I'll probably submit these. I'm not sure how quickly. I think I'll submit all these. This one is a borderline one. It is Amazing Spider-Man Volume 2, number 30. This is the first appearance of Morlun and the first appearance of Ezekiel Sims, who was the antagonist in Madam Web. We know how that went. Not only did the movie not fare well and has been the butt of jokes, including 2 jokes at the Academy Awards, so that's hurt the value of this book, but the performance of this character was atrocious. It was really bad. There was bad overdubbing. This is a really pretty copy. Not a huge value in a 9/8. There were a ton of these printed, but nice McFarlane cover. May submit that. Doesn't need much work. I think this, it may need a little bit of a press. Spider-Man 2099, that's a popular book. It's a hard book to press because it's got that foil cover. This is a book that's been hot as of late, and that is New X-Men number 114, the first appearance of Cassandra Nova, possibly going to be in Deadpool Wolverine, Deadpool versus Wolverine, exactly whatever it's called. This is a very high-grade copy. There might be some other high-grade semi-keys that I would pull. This is also really pretty for a 90s book, Silver Surfer number 44, the first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet. All right. And then this one, I was really happy with the condition on this. 9/6 maybe, outside of 9/8. I got to see how a press comes out. There are a couple of indents in the spine. I think they're if they come out nicely, Toxic Avenger number 1 in a newsstand. Did the movie come out yet? Peter Dinklage was starring and had a really good cast. I'm not exactly sure what happened. This is obviously based on the original Troma film. Then we had some Silver Age books. This is one of these in better shape than the other. 2 copies of Special Marvel Edition, second appearance of Shang-Chi. And this is the last issue in issue 17. The numbering continues and the title becomes Master of Kung Fu. This was in pretty decent shape, but it is a very odd copy. It's Werewolf by Night 8. And it is a nice presented copy. It does have a little bit of it. That doesn't affect the grade. But here's the weird thing. It does have a couple of spine ticks. That's where the staple is. From production. That is the production staple. Like, what? A good inch? 3/4 of an inch to an inch into the book. And then, I'm trying to think of the exact term, but the first several pages are conjoined. I'm not sure what the official term is, but basically you can't open the pages because it's like the way the paper was cut. I'm not sure how that works, how especially in the 1970s, if they do it differently today, how the books were printed, but I'll show you. It's just something very odd. Other than that, on the back, and obviously, I mean, like that's where, because when you open up to the centerfold, that is the production staple. The production staple is there, and there's no staple on the spine. In addition to that, and I just thought this very odd, the pages, I think all the first 4 pairs are all, the paper is like this. I don't know if you can see that well. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the paper's like that. You cannot read the interior pages. And it continues like that. You know, this isn't anything that makes the book of any value. It's just an oddity that it was printed this way. I mean, maybe for a big key, that might do something, but it's not like the $101,000 miswrap that somebody has up on eBay. They have it for $101,000. Wolverine 1. If you saw one of my recent eBay, but it's the same thing. The paper was not cut there because I guess it was all wonky in the printer. Here's another book that I may submit in a 980. It came through. I think it needs a little bit of work. First, Red She-Hulk. We know we're getting Red Hulk. It didn't have Hulk #1, but it had this. It was like danced around some keys. It's like, oh, there are those issues, and then no. So it was a very it's kind of schizophrenic collection. I'm not sure how all the pieces went together, and you saw how it was organized by like sticker price, cover price. Giant Size Fantastic Four. #4, the first appearance of Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man. This book got like insanely hot at some point in time for absolutely no reason. Nice little character, but not a huge key. Mid-grader there. And then World's Finest numbers 198, 199. This is the second, I believe it's the second one, Superman Flash Race. So starts in 198 and continues in 199. Great thing about 199, it's got a cover by Neil Adams. And I love this at the bottom with the kids. And Adams depicts them very well, not like John Byrne. The kids, and I can't believe my hero lost. Yay, my hero won. And we don't know who they're rooting for. But what's interesting about World's Finest at this point in time, for years, World's Finest was Superman and Batman, and then from 1940 up, and then in the 1950s, they started doing team-ups. So throughout the Silver Age, it was team-ups. But around 1970, it became a Superman team-up book, much like Brave and the Bold became a Batman team-up book for a couple of years. So, you know, the Superman and Flash, Superman and Green Lantern, Superman and Dr. Fate, and so on. Then, didn't have any of the previous issue, but 3 copies of Amazing Spider-Man 195, the second appearance of Black Cat, X-Factor 6, first appearance of Apocalypse, Iron Man 170, newsstand, James Rhodes dons the Iron Man armor, a reasonably nice copy of Daredevil 111, guest starring Shauna the She-Devil, first appearance of the Silver Samurai. And these two, and not in the best condition, again, talking about dancing around keys, Amazing Spider-Man 298, newsstand, and 299, newsstand, no 300. Neither of those is gradable. Those are mid-graders. This one could be gradable. This is a nice copy of Tales of the Teen Titans, number 44. First appearance of Nightwing, first appearance of Dick Grayson as Nightwing when he changed costume. You know, that high George Perez collar. Also the origin of Deathstroke and the first full appearance of Jericho. And it's also a newsstand. Needs a press. Does have some indents in the spine. But I think they'd leave some color breaking ticks, but I'm not sure. But it could get into the 9s. If that doesn't sell at King Con, maybe I'll bring that. This one I might keep, because this is a very nice copy, and it's hard to get this. It does have some issues that could benefit from a press. But it's Superman 261, this classic Star Sapphire cover by Nick Cardy. Usually the whites don't remain too white on this book. This is a book from 1973. And it does have some pressable issues, but it's a very nice copy. If a press I think can get this into the 9s, then it might be worth submitting. I have to see. I'm not sure the condition of the copy in my personal collection, but this is a very sought after book, and it's been getting hotter. Although, oddly, on CLZ, it does not list it as a key. And then you're talking about dancing around books. As I was at the antique store, going through the collection and trying to come up with a price to work with, I saw books around this, but I didn't see this book until I started going through it when I got everything to storage, and that is G.I. Joe 21, the silent issue. It does have a couple of spine ticks, but it is a newsstand. Other than that, it's really nice. And again, could benefit from a press. There's a couple things up top. So I'll probably have this at King Con. If not, I will submit it. Then this book. Man, what was this book worth a few years ago during the comic boom? This is one of those boom books that I do have a copy that I paid for and is not worth what I paid for it. I paid for a raw copy, got it clean pressed and graded, and then, yeah, the value of the book came tumbling down. So this is... yeah, it wasn't as... So without further ado, this is also a fairly nice copy. The spine could use some work, but it's really not bad. There's a little crease down there. I'm thinking about an 8 on this. It's Special Marvel Edition 15. We saw issue 16. This is the first appearance of Shang-Chi. This is maybe about in an 8, about $250 book, but it was $1,000 in an 8 during the boom. And then everybody submitted their copies and left with this. Yeah, I would... I'll see. This is, again, one of those books. If I don't sell it at King Con, I'll probably submit it. And then this book, I was really happy with the condition on this. It could benefit from a clean and a press. If it did, it would be an upgrade over what I already have. And it is Fear. The title on this note is Fear, not Adventure into Fear, despite what it says in the trade dress. It's Fear number 19, and it's the first appearance of Howard the Duck. And this is a very nice copy. I think it could be in the 9s. So... yeah, and I keep thinking, I mean, I think they've had Howard the Duck hanging around. He's been on What If. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy. He was just ever so briefly in Endgame. And you have Seth Green voicing the character. I could see them do an animated series on this. Maybe even, like, make fun of the George Lucas film a little bit. That was not a good film. And then... you saw this in the preview. It is lower grade, but it is complete. Incredible Hulk 181, the first full appearance of Wolverine. It does have some chipping here. You see some chipping there on the side. But the staples are pretty solid. Just overall wear. And the Marvel value stamp is there. So this was the cornerstone. They obviously, the antique store owner he knows enough about comics that he knew what this was, and he knew what the Shang-Chi was, but he didn't know the Howard the Duck book, for instance. That wasn't one that he kind of put to the side. Put a bunch of number 1s to the side. So, you know, that's one of the things. The more knowledge you have about comic books, the better hunting you can do, right? Because the majority of people that deal with comics casually, they'll know this, but there's a lot of other stuff they won't really be familiar with. So that was the cornerstone of the collection, and the majority of the value that I paid was in that book. So most of these books, the bigger books, will be available at King Con, Raw, and you know, come on, say hi if you're interested in the book. I might have, you know, some room on the price. Other than that, probably if they don't sell at King Con, I probably will grade them. And because I think in terms of value, just the clean and the press that I would put into the book will increase the grade of the book and increase the value. And then there's also the idea that the book will have some more certainty in its grade, especially when I'm looking to sell online. You know, not everybody is going to completely trust my grading. Not everybody's going to completely trust CGC's grading either, but I think there is more independence there, right? If I say a book's a 7.5, and even I'm not sure, right? If I say a book's a 7.5, maybe CGC says it's a 7 or a 6.5, right? In which case I'd be overgrading the book. Usually I try to be conservative when I'm selling. But if CGC says it's an 8 or an 8.5, then that's a big win for me in terms of value. So it is a little bit of gambling kind of when you do the grading. I do have to see which ones I want in the PC. I think definitely the Superman 261. I have to take a look at the Shang-Chi book. Some books I might put into the spec slab category. And I've talked about before, when I pick up collections or I pick up a stack of books at the flea market, a show or whatever, slab, spec, save, sell. Save means I put it in my PC. Sell says, okay, I'm going to move this right away. Most of these are right now in the sell category. Those books that I talked about are potential 9/8. Those will probably go in the slab category. And I'm not sure about spec. You know, fewer books are getting into the spec pile because the spec game is a little dangerous. More so, it's like lower value books that two categories: lower value books that would increase dramatically when a character is announced, or characters that are almost certain to appear in the movies, like on the Marvel side, Silver Surfer, Galactus, Doctor Doom, Ghost Rider fall very much into that category. And on the DC side, there are a lot of characters in that range. You know, Jon Stewart, we know that he's coming. We're just waiting for casting. Same with Booster Gold. Characters like Deadman, Zatanna, that we know we're going to get at some point. It's just a matter of time, I think. And so if I already have the books, maybe I'll just put the slabs aside. We'll see. So anyway, that was the bulk of that collection. I just kind of pulled out the best books. I still have not yet to dive in, and I probably won't really dive in it until after King Con. I pulled a bunch of books I think that I'm going to be selling at King Con from that collection. Other than that, especially a lot of, I didn't even look inside the box that had the hardcovers and the trades, because that is its own specific thing. Some of them were signed, evidently. So that's going to be something that kind of just take that box and spend some time to, those pretty much go on eBay. I don't drag them to shows. So, yeah, it takes a while to process a collection and to do it correctly. There are a lot of modern books. There are also some books, I got to see what they're worth in a 9.8 that I think, because when I catalog everything, I put it in my CLZ app, and I have, you know, if I put it at a 9.4 as a raw grade, that means I think it does have a shot maybe at getting a 9.8 graded. So then I have to look to see if it's worth it in terms of value to get that book graded at a 9.8. Is it like a $75 book in a 9.8? Then probably forget about it. If it's a $150 book, a $200 book or more, then it's definitely worth getting graded. So at any rate, that's all I have for today. I'd like to thank you for stopping by and spending your time watching me go through and talk about comics. I really appreciate everybody who does spend that time and, you know, leaves the comments and comes up to me at shows. So just come up at King Con and say hi and take a look at some of these books on the wall. In the meantime, you can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.